everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Black Girl Charmed. I am your always check the time zone co host, Ray, joined by my co host.
I just sit here and smile and look pretty. No.
We have a very special guest with us today. You hear us reference this person damn near every episode
Every
since like
episode.
season 3.
Mhm.
And you know what? It's been a fun ride. Welcome, Rojay, to the podcast.
What up? What up? What up? What up?
Oh man. So before we really get into this episode, is there a preferred moniker that you would like to be called throughout this episode? Or
uh,
is, Rojay your staple?
Rojay is fine. I'm good with that.
All right. So this will not be a typical recap episode, guys. This was supposed to be me dragging him for about an hour because he liked a certain episode,
He
but we
did.
in a new month. It's
And I
women.
think we should.
It's Women's History Month, and we can't start off the
Even more
month so
reason.
like hostile. We still gonna
Okay.
get into it, but
Okay.
I'm gonna be nice.
I feel like
I
we're not
always
gonna
say
sweep that under the rug. I feel like she's going to bring it up, so it's okay. I'm prepared.
we had a whole I said, did you see what Rochi is posted on Twitter? She said, yes, girl. I said, make sure you add that. She said, I already did. And I
So,
feel like Black History Month don't end on the 28th. It ends on March 3rd. I deserve a full month.
I feel it.
and I feel like you knew this was coming because I was creeping on your tweets and like the tweet from like April 2024 this morning.
Okay.
So, you know, because while I may seem unprofessional, I am very professional when it comes to research,
Okay.
But petty.
Well let's go for it, cause I'm petty too,
okay?
and
Wait, what's your sign?
I'm a Gemini, so that right there should tell you enough.
Ooh. I don't know if you're ready to wade in them waters.
Is air sign, and what are you? You're a Scorpio. I don't even know what that is.
Is that earth? Water? Water? Water.
I
Maybe?
guess.
I
Either
guess.
way, we supposed to be siblings, but like siblings, we gonna tussle.
Yeah.
Um, so I will ask the guests what they would prefer. We're gonna do two segments.
Okay.
One is the messy question segment, and the other is the rapid fire segment.
All right.
Which one would you like to do first?
I think the people love to stick around for the mess, so let's start with the rapid fire.
Okay.
All right.
So before she gets started, so rapid fire, we're going to give you one word. What immediately comes to your head? We want you to say. No, no thinking about it. Even if it's like a bunch of curse words, Spotify already knows that we are explicit. So
Okay.
whatever comes to your head is what we want.
All right. Let's get it.
All right.
You want to go first, my sister?
I will go first.
All right.
So the very first rapid fire question is Prue.
uh, See, I want to say entitled, but maybe, yeah.
No, that's what you said. That's what you
Okay.
said.
I'm gonna say entitled.
I'm gonna put that in my questions
Okay.
because there's already a few questions in there.
Okay.
hmm Piper,
Emotional.
Ooh.
very Destiny's Child. You right. You absolutely right. She really quit her job over her man being bad at his job, and if that's
And we
not
trying to
even
figure out how he got hired anyway, and trying to deny that he was DEI. That's yeah.
no, I was gonna make a joke, but I don't want to edit myself, so I will just. Damn. Uh,
Okay.
Phoebe.
Phoebe.
All right. Phoebe is. See.
You say because
Right. Like it's right there, and it's several words. But okay, we're gonna say Phoebe. I want to say. I really don't want to call her careless, but let's say careless. I almost Like that's what's sticking there, but I really don't want to like pin that on her. But we're gonna go with careless.
Now you can. That bitch is careless, especially yo. Next week's episode is Saving Private Leo, and I've already watched it.
I hate that episode.
That is one
Piper
of the
said,
most.
Piper says they are trying to kill my man, and Phoebe's like, "Well, my man has a party, so."
I mean, but that's what she does, right? Rolling in the hay. We've had this conversation on Twitter.
That part, and let's be real. Would you rather go take shots or help Leo get over his issues?
You're not wrong, but
Because I would rather go to the party too. So I'm not even mad at Phoebe in that instance.
but how many times has Piper like gone with Phoebe for her little bullshit adventures? Just this once, I'm asking you to do something for me, and you just like,
But
I
it's
can't be late to this party because, like, you know what? You could be 15 minutes late.
But you know it's Leo. It's never going to be 15 minutes. We don't get the full story until like 45 minutes
Because he
into
had to
it.
go
Oh,
ask somebody what was going on. Like, even though it involved him, he still needs information and intel as to why he's the one being stalked by Ghost. So that's a
right,
conversation you
right.
guys are going to have, I'm sure.
Oh, that episode made me so angry because, spoiler alert, they killed a black man in this episode in the most gruesome way. So you
That's what
already,
they do.
you
Look
already,
at how all the black witches have died.
once it's a black person on the show and they go out, I'm going to have a rant about it because why did he need to be like stabbed 50,000 times? But
They,
anyway, that's
they
next
took
week.
him out. That was cruel, but can you imagine being taken out by a damn cat and a potion? And then she had no black instincts at all. Talking about shadow. No. Bitch,
It's
stab
crazy.
that cat. Throw that cat out the window. Like, why are we having this heart to heart with Shadow?
We knew that something was wrong with Shadow because Shadow was on the furniture, okay? Why is Shadow on the furniture?
What's wild is that same black woman goes on to play a witch in an episode of Law and Order Criminal Intent, and she not even like a witch. She like a call me now kind of witch. And
Wow.
Not Miss Cleo.
the episode also stars Oscar Isaac, so it's like, damn, okay. We really getting into like the POC and witchery. All right, okay. I see you,
Love it.
Dick Wolf. But anyway, Paige.
Ooh.
Paige is boss.
Oh, I'm gonna let her
I'm
handle
I'm a, I'm a Paige stan, so you'll probably figure that out throughout this chat. Like I'm gonna go hard for Paige, harder than Piper goes for Leo.
it.
Ooh.
Cole.
I'm just saying. If you know, you know, right?
Mm-hmm. So Cole,
Whole. Under no, I'm gonna say misunderstood.
not Joe Goldberg being misunderstood. Okay.
So we don't have this on the rapid fire, but the source.
The source. Ugh.
Cole's interpretation of the source or the first
Yes.
source. Okay.
I want to say what underused or misused. Like I feel like he just was not used to his fullest potential on this show. So I'm gonna say underused. If that's
Okay,
a
okay.
word, I'm not even sure. It's been a while
I
since I
feel
took an
like
ACT test, so I'm not.
underutilized. I feel like if they
That, yes. I feel like there was so much more. I feel what they did was great, but it's like even in you guys trying to reincarnate this man, if that's the road we were gonna take, I feel like that could have been easily a way to fix the lack of excitement for season 8. But that's another thing. All right.
Mm. Yeah, I also feel the run, it felt rushed.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Even though I love this run, I feel like we could have done 5A. The entire season 5 could have
Hmm.
Yeah.
been this.
But you know what
Dedicate
you got
some.
in season 5 instead of that? Leprechauns. Okay, let's go ahead.
You said
Nymphs.
leprechaun. I was
You got
like,
wood. You got
bitch
wood
ass
nymphs.
quiet. That's what
Yeah.
you was. I'm like, but hey,
So them children start coming. Ugh.
my bitch ass is Leo.
This is still rapid fire, right? Leo was dry.
Oh,
Like, and you know the crazy thing is, let me I guess let people know why my rants of Leo came about. Because
Actually, hold that thought because that's in the question.
okay, all right, all right.
Hold-
Hopefully I don't disappoint when I go down that road. But yeah,
No,
I'm sure
okay,
you won't. I'm sure you
okay.
won't. Kit.
Kit, oh, Kit should have been sent to a shelter. Kit, cause how you a
Not
familiar
ASPCA.
and you should be sitting in the corner with Leo. Cause what are you doing, Kit?
He said Sarah McLaughlin. Oh my God.
as two former agency workers, that's crazy, but animals have been turned in for like less. So
Because why we feeding you, Kit? Where did you come from? You just showed up on the
what?
doorstep. We took you in. You're supposed to be guiding us, and we still lost a sister by air. So
Did
Kid
Kit
just
even
wasn't
come
doing
to
her
the
job.
funeral?
Kid Kid didn't even come to the funeral.
Okay. She definitely got the rehab. Nothing on the food station.
No, not the cat here in the food.
Fake ass Phoebe was cleaning during the repast. You know that cat was on top of the fucking food station.
Listen,
The seer.
the Seer, epic. When I say probably one of the best side characters because she carried. If we
Mhm.
want to ever talk about the utilization of people of color in the Charmed universe, I would say this is not only one they got right, but they let
Yep.
this legend, Debbie Morgan, they allowed her to carry that damn season. Low
Hmm.
key saving the series, along with a few other elements, but I believe that
You
was one of the strongest parts of what helped to save
Yeah.
the series.
I hope this don't ruin or further hurt our chances of appearing on House of Halliwell.
You we will never be in House of Halliwell. Do you understand that?
But listen, man, I gotta speak with some hope in my heart, okay? God.
I call that man a J6. We ain't never been in. So just get it. Okay.
Ooh, that's wild.
Why has this seer never appeared on the show?
Have they even gotten that far though? I feel like they rebooted like 3 times.
You know what? I don't know if I
I'm
should
s-
edit this
I don't
out
think
of
I don't think they've gotten to 4 yet. But I will tell you the premise, the idea behind House of Halliwell is great. I started out listening to it, but they lost me literally around episode 4 because I was like, one, y'all drag the show worse than the fans, which kind of
me.
hurt. Not y'all. I'm saying House of Halliwell cast. They
You know,
drag.
I'm asking, do they like drag it worse than we do? Because
No, I think it's a different type of drag. Like we're in a sense being sarcastic, right? We can poke
right.
fun at things, but we definitely love the show. And the way they drag it and they were a part of it almost makes us feel
like
stupid for
drama
being fans
queen.
because it's always something. And then it's like you take the show and you don't remember anything. You don't remember anything until it's convenient to remember something about the show. And then it was just so much side babble. What am I listening to? And I'm not about to listen to y'all for 2 hours talk about a goat and uh it'd
So
be the most random conversation. I just be like, all right, cool.
this
So
is
yeah.
definitely like um for the One Tree Hillers with Drama Queens podcast.
Hmm.
It's very hard to listen to it as a fan of One Tree Hill
Hmm.
because every episode is like, and this is when the creators try to essay me, or because I didn't want to talk to him off the screen, he wrote himself into the scene. This is how he exerted his power over us.
What?
Or this is the episode where I wasn't allowed to go to the photo shoot because I was the ugly one. So only um, Peyton and Brooke got to be on the photo shoot while I was at home minding my business. And you remember those campaigns, like the Sun Kiss campaign that One Tree Hill did, and then you hear how bad these ladies were like treated during
Mm.
the production of it. It's like I don't really
Want to
like
watch this
my
anymore?
real life sucks. I don't want to hear that your life sucks too. Well,
Woo! Wow.
like obviously all the positive things you're supposed to say in this matter. Like yes, believe victims. I take this seriously, but all that aside, as a person, like the world is fucking garbage. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not listening to
I'm
this.
not listening to this for this crap. I don't
Right.
care.
You like 6 seasons of you being sexually like assaulted or like sexually
Ugh.
harassed. It's like, ugh,
Wow. Wow.
yeah,
I just
yeah.
want to know who killed Gossip Girl. That's all.
Oh my god,
Oh,
Regina Sparks, rest in peace. Oh, tell Chad
Rams.
the bitch
Grams.
is back.
I love Grams. I really do. I wish she had to prepare my girls a little bit more. So I'm gonna say, definitely, it's not the overprotective is not the word, but what is it when you kind of unnecessarily guard your children
I
from
think
stuff? That's it? Is that overprotective?
I think it is overprotected. I think,
Sheltered.
yeah,
Shelter. And it's like I
yeah.
just feel like I wish she had gave them a little more preparation, and she did not. So
She was prepared to take their powers away. So,
Yeah, she did what she had to do.
do you believe that once she went in the attic and talked to Patty and was like, "All right, you on board? I'm taking their powers away." The elders killed her, right?
either that or Thistle. I don't know who tripped her. I don't know who tripped Grails, but I do know I find pleasure in her doing that dismount from the top of the steps and almost sticking that landing. It was like
She did not do the Biles one.
she did not, because I love calling it tumble thoughts. Like it's like you did not. Not only did you not prepare these girls for their legacy, but you didn't even take tumbling classes when you were younger. Like I feel like she should have done a lot to prepare for life.
Maybe you know what it is? She was like, I did a lot of stuff in the 60s and 70s. And I know that damn white liner, he gonna come back around. I'm trying to get my girl.
Ooh,
Mm-mm.
listen. No,
Speaking
I
of,
don't know. I will. That is an interesting viewpoint. Because we do know the elders are trash.
mm,
For them to be so neutral, they had their hands in the pot at the most inconvenient times, and I would
hmm
not put
hmm
it past them. But it's even at that time. Don't laugh at me. Even at that time, did the elders even know who the elders were? Because season one was such a let's
So
throw it
bad.
at the wall and see
See if it sticks.
what sticks. I don't think they really set a guide on this hierarchy of power. Then all of a sudden it's just what, because if I recall correct, the founders and then the elders come into play, and
mm,
then
hmm
um, some of the stuff Leo was even doing as a white lighter was never seen again ever.
because he could do magic at one point,
Right.
but then he can't do magic.
Like you hovering was one. You hovering, and we found you hovering in the house of the young ladies you were supposed to be keeping this big secret from. Careless. Like why would you do that, sir? Like why get a ladder and change this light bulb if that's what's gonna happen? You're hovering
Especially knowing they don't ever lock them doors. So you were never going to hear a key jingle jangle.
ever, ever. Like it's the only door in that manner that was ever locked was Phoebe's bedroom, because she didn't want you guys walking in while she was
I know exactly where you're going. Because I combed through your tweets and I remember the tweet too. You were like, things get cracked open and it's a picture of Phoebe and Balthazar.
Listen, I know why the cage bird sing. Do you hear me? Because Phoebe was
Oh,
getting turned like a rotisserie chicken. Do you understand me?
nah, I think that in the episode where Prue gets that dark wedding, Phoebe's a kinky bitch.
You
She was
saw her.
beating him up.
You saw
I want Balthazar. Give me Balthazar. Yeah.
Yeah, we want Balthazar.
her. And you know what the funniest part about the whole Bethesor situation is? If you we know there was a white man playing Bethesor, we do know that.
Hmm.
But
Yes.
if you look at when Bethesor transforms, if he don't look like the biggest black man you've ever seen in life,
Bald head, muscles.
Phoebe was on to something for y'all. So for y'all to listen,
I will admit when we got the internet, like internet became like really big. That's one of the first things I did. Who played Balthazar? And that white man popped up, and I was like,
So you got a black man for the stores, but a white man for here? No.
yeah,
I was confused.
because
I
the
was
piece of
confused.
the Bethesor flesh that Phoebe was getting was not used for a potion, but that's a whole nother conversation.
On that note, from one hoe to another, Patty Halliwell.
um,
Yeah, sorry.
an example. She was an example in several ways. In several ways, y'all want to drag Phoebe for how she acts. She acts like her mom. Y'all want
I think
to.
it's Piper, but it's Phoebe.
It's Phoebe, not emotional, cause we ain't see one tear from that lady that whole series. So she's not emotional and crying like Piper, but she definitely out here busting it open for.
Piper, Hyola, and it took me out. You called her like Piper, Iola, Halliwell, and my God.
But I do have a question because I posed this question on Twitter once before, and I know a lot of people had a generic answer. Um, we have this power as witches
Hmm.
to visit almost any person in the line. You're
Hmm.
lighting
Yeah.
candles and you're bringing these people back, and
Hmm.
we already know the personal gang angle, but you were selfish for 4 of the 8 seasons. Not one time did you bring your mom back for a valid reason. Like we saw Grams several times, right? Grams would always pop up. We never saw Prue. You gave us this weak excuse as you're not ready. Well, by
Mm-hmm.
2 years after her death, why would I not want to see my sister, right?
She ain't like that
So
bitch.
We saw Graham, but Graham wasn't even on the show because Graham was the one messing with the book. Like, oh, these bitches not gonna
with the
get it.
book, she down here in a flashback with the Woogie. You see what I'm saying? But y'all didn't have a real relationship per se with your mom because she was taken
Right.
out young, and that was part of Phoebe's angst for most of what the first and second or first season.
Yep.
I was young, I didn't get to see mom or whatever, but you brought her back for Paige to give Paige a hug. But it's like you can't create a relationship with this lady after death through these candles and crystals. Is what I'm asking. Like that, you're always bringing Grams back, and people were on Twitter saying, well, they had more of a relationship with Grams. They grew up with Grams, but that's not what I'm asking you. If you have
Yeah,
the
in that
opportunity to bring
70s
back your
episode,
mom who
when
has,
they were in that 70s episode, you would expect them to want to bring their mom back
right,
at least
No. Do
twice.
y'all remember when they went back in time and met Melinda, and Melinda told them how to do magic using basic stuff?
hmm
And then they got back to the present time and was like, I don't know how to do any of this stuff. And never called back Melinda. Never. These girls did not give a damn.
they didn't. And I think that was one thing, like, I feel it's always hindsight because we were locked in when this was on.
Mhm.
Nothing they wrote was out of the way, out of the question. We was on this thing, but it takes more of an adult eyes, I guess, because we were younger when we were watching this, and when you can kind of process some of the stuff you're watching, and you're just like, that
Hmm.
didn't make sense. Why the hell did
Right,
I
right.
buy that back in the day? You know what I'm saying? And when we went into lockdown for quarantine is when I decided not to just go to favorite episodes. I'm like, I'm starting from episode one. I'm going to the end. I'm watching this. I don't have to have the week break in between.
Mhm.
Right,
We
right.
going at it, and then that's when some of the things start lining up, and you're just kind of like, and we can always blame the writers, but the people putting the words from the paper into action on the screen for you to not say a damn thing as if you're not living this life that they're writing. Like there should have
Hmm.
been some checks and balances in several parts of this series that
Yeah,
would have
I
given us some
feel
explanations that we could have probably rolled with, right?
yeah, I feel like in the first iteration of House of Halliwell,
The
Holly
first iteration.
alludes, Holly alludes to this. Because at a certain point, Piper keeps saying freaking, and I feel like after season five, she's always like, no, actually season four, the freaking furniture kept attacking her.
Right.
Yeah, they were trying to get her to say something else, and she said Piper would be cussing.
Hmm.
So if we can't say fucking, then at least say freaking. But then at a certain point, it was so overused. But she would like use up her power to get the freaking instead of what they originally wanted.
Hmm.
So I guess Hollywood in the early aughts were horrible, as if it was never horrible.
Yeah.
Speaking of
And
horrible,
like, I'm not gonna disagree with you there.
speaking of horrible people, the elders.
The elders. Okay. We call, well, he's an extension of them. I would definitely say useless, but I'm gonna say the ultimate evil. The elders are indeed the ultimate evil, and if I had a chance to really wrap that series up as a writer, I would have really came for not only the characters next, but the viewers next in the sense of the elders being the ultimate big bad. Like this is
Oh.
what you have to take down and this is what you have to dismantle. Through this, Piper, you can get your normal life. These people set so much in play for the sisters, and they
Hmm.
were always in the way. They were
Yep.
always in the way for anything, and it was always like for the greater good, for the greater good. Clearly, y'all don't give a damn about the greater good because we can write a list. You did not give a damn about the greater good. So I feel like what we do know, we always say money is the root of all evil, whatever. But we also know we have that saying, what is it? Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Hmm. Hmm.
There's nothing higher and nothing more powerful than the elders, and they don't want to give that up. Imagine the power of three. They already hate these bastards. Having to go toe to toe. They
Oh, that'd have
just
been good.
not only did they fry Leo, they pushed this man off the bridge, made his head bounce on the concrete harder than grams coming down them steps. And like let's put these badass kids in the fight. Come on, ultimate power Wyatt. Let's do something as a toddler. And
I mean, not to step on your point or nothing, but Leo breaks bad because y'all let Gideon come through and be a whole fucking menace. This man trying to kill my kid. How
mhm,
he a good guy if he's trying to kill a child?
right.
And that's one good thing I would give that
That's I will say the only time that Leo was interesting to me was in season 7 when he, for some reason, whenever a character goes dark, i.e. Phoebe, let's be real, whenever Phoebe had them firepower throwing situations going, we was like, rock out, bitch. So, you know what I'm saying? So anytime our goody two shoe characters got a taste of the dark side, they became a little more interesting. And I think that was Leo's most interesting arc to the point that I
motherfucker. And to
told
be
him I met him at the convention, the con last year. And I didn't really want to tell him, like, I'll be shitting all over your ass on Twitter. But I was like, hey, let me tell you something. My favorite thing that you ever did on this show was when you became evil. And he said they had like this little song. Because I don't know why bad hair equates to being evil on this show. But he had those little twists.
yes,
And he said people were walking around and said something, evil Leo. And he was so happy to tell me this story. And I was just like,
my sweetie.
yeah, yeah.
No, but I feel like that storyline with Leo, it's so valid
Mm-hmm.
that we could have just kept that going.
Mm-hmm.
Because what have the elders done successfully? We're in season 4, and it took them a whole week to tell Leo that evil is still around. They
Like I
don't know
really
they
feel
know nothing about the succession of evil.
No.
They don't tell these girls to keep their guard up. No, nothing. Like
nothing. And most of the information that they got that was useful, especially in season 4, was through Cole. And I don't know if it was because of his connection to the underworld, but just about anything that would help them
Came
advance
from
in this battle was given to them by Cole. Or
yeah,
Prue, who was supposedly the smartest person and couldn't do no wrong, she would figure something out like this. And then Leo's coming back in his orbs. Well, the elder said, she said,
Yes.
yeah, Leo, we got it. Like,
you know, to your point, this show should have ended with Cole and Prue being the new elders.
Ooh.
mm, there's
Because
so much we probably could have done in season 8. And I feel like even
Or
if we
Cole.
didn't get to see Prue's face, allude
mhm,
to
Right.
the fact that Prue popped up. All you needed was somebody skinny
just
with a
With black
shoulder
hair.
and long
bring
hair.
back when Shepard died, they just hired some random Asian lady and put a black wig on her. That was kind of curly. It kind of looked kind of cheap. I'm not gonna lie. And we knew that was Christina, but Sandra Owen show up.
Right,
We could have done the
right.
same thing here, but
Cole didn't even need to be an elder, right? Because you think about like there always has to be for good to exist, you always need evil. So he could have still been the source. They could have had some sort of like truce. You would have had the yin, the yang, and everybody would be like, "Oh my god, that works!" And we could have ended it like that. It'd been perfect.
because the fans always want a redemption arc for Cole, even though I
hmm
Understood.
hmm
think
Understood.
him becoming an elder would have been the ultimate redemption arc.
The ultimate
But
redemption.
would
Yes.
Cole have actually been the one to need the redemption arc? Cause let's be real, them women were truly awful to that man in
So
season 5, and they needed the damn redemption arc because at one point during my rewatch, I was like, "I'm with Cole, choke this hoe out, like take her out because why are we here?" In reality, this man is only in this position because he loved this woman so much that he did anything he could to save her because she was negligible, and y'all just blamed him for everything. Daylight savings time. I know Cole did that shit. Like, damn, Phoebe, what they like? Oh, she blamed that man for everything.
Um, Speaking of, this is a horrible segue, but blaming them for everything. Magic school. Did we really need the Harry Potter
We
ripoff?
did not need Magic School, and I do believe Magic School was brought only for the simple fact of we needed one episode to cut Piper's body out because she wasn't pregnant in the story yet.
Yeah.
I feel
I
like when
will tell
Magic School
you,
came around. Go ahead. Go ahead.
my first reaction to Magic School, I remember watching that episode and like this doorway appears in the manor, not even at the top of the steps, right here in the middle of the damn stairwell. And this was Sigmund, is that what's his name? Comes out of this doorway and it's just like he's come from Magic School. And I'm just like, we're in season 6.
Right.
There's
Right.
never been a mention of anything, not even daddy daycare. We have not mentioned of anything in resemblance to this. And now all of a
Right.
sudden it's taking over the storyline. And I'm just, it wasn't a teenage show. These were grown women. I just feel like that element made it a little more elementary than what it should have been.
Mhm.
Like I could have got with the leprechauns and the nymphs and the Tinkerbell, Thistle, and things of that nature because they were all part of the magical community. But now you're telling me since season 1, we have this ultimate power of good witches, which is this trio, and now we have a million magical motherfuckers out here learning how to be great. So what is the purpose of the sisters at this point? Because you have everybody's magical and everybody has telekinesis. So what are we doing?
Yeah.
I hated Magic
Season
School.
4 has
I
the
didn't.
Harry Potter ripoff where it's when the hollow gets loose and they have that scene from Sorcerer's Stone where they're playing chess,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Hmm.
feel it's just another ripoff of Harry Potter, just
Yes,
recap
100%.
ends. And there was, if it had to be done, there are so many other ways you could have done it.
It didn't have to be done.
Reintroduce Max and have him be like, "I created a school." I wanted to see Max again. Damn it!
Yeah.
That's what it is. We didn't need magic school. It was blatantly a Harry Potter ripoff,
Mm-hmm.
down to the Dumbledore. Like, give me a break.
Yeah. I
To
also
be
think
honest,
too, as
I'm
far
in
as
marketing. I'm always going to find a way to make it work.
mhm.
It doesn't work, but you could have gave us something better than what you gave us.
I think also it was a way of because we keep hearing budget, 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 right? And I don't know when the conversation of budget came into play. I remember only in season 8 bringing it back, and we were going to have to reduce the budget. But even in season 7, you will see a lot of as far as the set
Hmm.
recycling
Hmm.
and the sound stage. So we kind of saw it there. But I think in reality, we can blame the elders again for this because think about it in season 3 was the first time we got to see super bright lights, heaven type of whatever with the elders, right? Then eventually that leads to we got to go meet the elders on top of the San Francisco Bridge. Like we go from this big protected place that nobody can get to and go to, not even the sisters, to I'm gonna meet you at the top of the damn bridge, and then it turns into well, let's just go meet them at magic school.
Yep.
So I
Yeah,
feel like it was just a way of one not being so expensive with the set and still keeping them in the story, but it just made no sense. And I
yeah,
think part of that too, you guys mentioned the Harry Potter. One, I was never a fan of Harry Potter, so that did nothing for me. But also, it's that age old thing too. Like when you're watching an established show and the producers are, let's get some new viewers, let's get some whatever, and that's why they brought in Kelly Kuoko in season 8. But my thing is, we're in season 8. The people are watching are the people that's been watching. Where the
Right.
core
Right.
audience, nobody new is coming in. So now you're just effing up the show for us. You know what I'm saying? Like you
if
could have.
you bring somebody back or introduce a new blood, bring somebody that we already see, like Shorty from season 1, the fifth sister or
That
whatever.
would have been good.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Have her come back because their interaction with the Halliwells changed
Right.
her life, changed her trajectory, yada yada yada. And you could, that's a good way to still appease the fans,
Hmm.
but get some new blood in there because you don't necessarily have to recast the same girl because she may not be.
Yeah, but again, it was all about pulling a new blood. Kelly Cuoco just came off of, I can't remember the name of
What
that
8
show.
Simple Rules? I think it was.
Yeah, Eight Simple
Yeah.
Rules, and so she had her massive following. So we're looking at time. So
Okay.
the last
Okay.
four, and we're going to pull them all together. So you got the
Okay.
boyfriends. You got Cupid, Coop, Brody, and Henry Mitchell. What are your thoughts?
I will say of all the men, of all the men, they gave Paige the least interesting ones. But as far as I didn't like Brody until the rewatch. I initially hated the hell out of him, but I didn't
Okay.
like him until the rewatch. I always liked Henry, and that's mainly because I feel like they ushered that story in correctly. It wasn't rushed. I think we
Uh-huh.
we got to see them grow and figure out why she was drawn to him and then why that pairing worked versus we got 4 episodes, bitch, we're marrying you off. Here's a cop. You saved him, now you're in love. Like it wasn't that. So I will say
So
she ended up
basically, it
with the
wasn't
right
Coop, is
person.
what you said.
Yeah, Coop was I feel Coop was trash and I feel and I said this on Twitter before, if you were gonna bring Coop to save the love element for Phoebe, we should have revisited the original coupe that you brought in was it chick flick season? That wasn't chick flick, I'm sorry.
Yeah, she.
Heartbreak City, whatever it was. I
Mhm.
feel like
Yeah,
that would have worked for me
she
as a fan and a viewer only because again, this is somebody you introduced us to before in this universe, so it wasn't a forced interaction upon me with this character.
from me. Just like how Piper had that one episode with Mark, that one episode with Cupid showed how much like you can still have your forbidden love because Cupid shouldn't be there, but
Hmm.
they don't listen to us or have common sense. Did you? So as a Dawson's Creek fan, watching Brody kind of like threw me off a little bit because it's gay Jack crying about Paige and his dead parents. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. It's
So
I
funny
think
though
he
because I
was
don't
I
see
think
him
he
as
was
gay
done
Jack
well.
anymore.
hmm?
She doesn't see him as gay Jack anymore. I never saw him as gay Jack. I remembered him from Final Destination um
Mm.
Oh.
films. So I do believe he came in and created enough chaos to go along with what we were seeing with Leo. And
Hmm.
it gave us a darker season, and we hadn't had that in a while since season
Yeah.
4. And I think that's probably why season 4 and season 7s are among my favorites because if it was a
Hmm.
dark season, if the tone was
I'm in
dark,
it.
if I felt like it was, I was there with that. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, my only downside to season 7 was the whole Drake arc, and they could have left that on the writers' room floor because again, just like with the Coop thing,
Did
I like
you?
that. I like with the Coop thing, and you came in and rushed that. I feel like those were useless episodes, and we could have used those 4 episodes, 4 to 6 episodes, to really build up Zanku.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
and then the payoff that it was Cole who sent him to her so she could like
I
re.
love that. I
Cole
just
was the
watched this
only
episode.
the Cole was the only part of that arc that I felt was cool. I did enjoy that episode. That was a good episode of those, but keep in mind Drake wasn't really a major part of the episode. Like, I mean, y'all love Billy Zane and that eyeliner, good deal, but he done nothing for me. I think at that point they were going for like a famous somebody
Right.
already, and they
Right.
just wanted to
Every
draw in.
time Billy Zane, all I think of was like, I have a child from Titanic.
Right. 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 Right.
For those who don't know. But hopping into the questions because we do have to be time conscious. I already
Okay.
saw like a police officer walking by. Ha, ha, ha. You gave us a little bit of your charm story with the rewatching COVID, but what is your full charm story? What brought you to the show?
All right, so I have this, but she's no longer with us. I worked with her when I first started out in radio. Her name was Cynthia, and I used to just go over and hang out at Cynthia's house all the time. Cynthia was something like a mentor in the sense of the radio world with me, and she was just watching this show, and after about the third day of me going over there, she's watching this show because it's always around the same time. You know, TNT was syndicated as hell. But I was like, okay, what is this? So it got to the point that when I would go home, I would be pulling this up. And I realized that the show was actually still on. It wasn't like just an old show and we was watching reruns. It was already in syndication. So my first real show that was new in the series was season 5. Paige was there, and it was when they went to the market in the Crone, and no,
Okay, okay.
it was the episode after. I'm sorry, it was the episode after Wyatt arrived.
Continue.
So what's at the market?
Uh,
I just remember
yeah, I
Paige
think
in the
I.
blue dress and the blonde wig and all that crap. Okay, so that was the first one I saw where they were being in production, and then as far as the syndicated episodes, we were in season 2. So of course the confusion for me was Prue and Paige, and I was like, well, what the
Hmm.
hell? You know, I was working overnights. I was on the computer and I was on Wiki and
Mhm.
the episode recaps, and I literally like researched the hell out of this show. And I got to the part reading about Queen of the Underworld, and I was like, what the hell is this show? I got to. So I had to really like go in and catch up, and it got to the point. I think Charm was on Sunday nights at that point, and when the
Mm.
show would come on, because this was the time we didn't have the digital and the DVRs and all that stuff, I would literally turn my phone full off. Like I would turn the phone off so that I would not be disturbed watching this show. I was really hooked at this point. So after that, yeah, and I've always been drawn to witches. I don't know why,
Mhm.
and powers.
Hmm.
Like even my favorite Friday the 13th movie was the one with the girl Tina had the telekinesis. Like so, it's
Mm.
always been for me one powers and the supernatural type stuff and witches.
Hmm.
This was
Okay.
the perfect thing for me to get hooked on.
Okay. 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 Um. Let's see. Am I gonna be nice to you or?
No, we're just gonna get into it. Get into it.
So why do you like season 3, episode 14, the good, the bad, and the curse? Why? What did Don't Like Feather do to you?
The listeners want to know.
Okay, so let me just make this real simple because I laugh all the time because I'll be like, well, why do you hate it so bad? I think the way it started was one, it was different, and it kind of saw us be connected in a psychic link for Phoebe in a way that we had yet to be. I do like the elements with Victor. I like the whole sister element of it, but I think the part that really got me is, and I'm a big sucker, and the first movie I remember crying at was watching A Walk to Remember, and I didn't even know I was crying. A tear fell, and I said, "Why the hell I got water on my hand?" But I believe that was one of the strongest acting um, parts from Alyssa, like the whole when Bo Lightfelder, whatever, I know you drag on when he's getting beat and she's feeling it and she's crying and she's got the busted lip and she's getting her ass whooped and then she still has the time to throw the joker. Well, don't look at me, I've been shot. Like I feel like it was such a high stakes episode in a sense of raw emotion and the acting, not
Okay.
necessarily the fact that Bo is out here fighting in the wild wild west with this man that chews tobacco and I really would just say I for the sister connection, the
Okay.
acting from Alyssa, and the fact that it kind of is the catalyst for us falling in love with Victor as a father figure.
Who fell in love with Victor as a
You don't
father?
like Victor? Victor, I love Grandpa Victor. What are you saying?
So it started with Victor running a scam. Like, yeah, I know I hang out with y'all often. I'm gonna use your rich powers to see if this place is a good place to invest my money. That's not Victor being a good father.
That's
That's
Victor. That's Victor being smart because if them hoes wanted to get some stuff done on themselves, they would have. Victor was smart. I would have done the same thing.
yeah, Victor is a smart con artist. He's not a good father. Those are two separate things.
We have to bring you back for a part
I
two. Oh
love
my
Victor.
god.
I'm just gonna say I love Victor. I really do. Okay, next question.
Deadbeat. 'Cause when Victor drags Leo, that's one of my favorite things because a deadbeat is going to drag another deadbeat. It's always funny. But he's still a deadbeat.
But you gotta be a deadbeat to see a deadbeat.
Victor was more so hurt and bitter, and Leo was just a sorry sack of orbs. But okay, let's go.
Next question. You're
why,
not getting away.
why did the Prue being an ally discourse trigger you so much?
It doesn't trigger me. I just
I
was
know.
trying to get some understanding, some clarification, because it's even when you deal. One thing we know is
Mhm,
we have a specific struggle and a specific
Mhm,
trauma that no matter
mhm,
how much of an ally you are, you'll still never understand the shit
mhm.
we go through as a people. I
mhm.
will first and foremost say that. I felt like, yes, we don't see enough people of color in the Charm universe, but in reality, we wouldn't because in theory it's a white show, right? We didn't see too many white people in Martin's universe or Living Singles universe. So because those that wasn't really catered to those type of
Justification
audience.
wasn't strongest at that
Yeah,
point.
it wasn't that audience. So yes, we
Right,
did
right.
get to see black people here and there, but that's also like just saying when you see somebody white and they be like, "Oh, I got a black friend. I'm not racist." People always like to pin the other sister or paint the other sisters as racist because they wasn't connected to black characters like Prue was. But in reality, why would they? Because they stayed on Prescott Street, not 8th Street,
You're
not
right.
Oakwood Avenue. You know what I'm saying? Like they were not even on that side of town to see that many black people.
As somebody who has played what kind of racist is this Halliwell on the
Yes,
child,
yes.
Piper just gives you need to use the surface entrance vibes. Like there's nothing there's just it's maybe the cardigans, maybe the two-piece tops that just gives me
Maybe they're here, but Piper definitely gives. I've never seen you in this building before.
In reality, and not just people of color, what person outside of Leo did Piper give a fuck about?
You're absolutely right.
Okay. And then after she got kid, it was all about Wyatt Matthew Halliwell. I ain't gonna
You're
say Chris.
absolutely
It was
right.
just Wyatt. But so she really wasn't concerned with anything. Piper was in a bubble, period, because Piper didn't live in a world that existed
Outside of
outside of
Leo.
Leo.
we did see Phoebe flirt with a black guy in season one, but she was always going home with a white guy.
Until Balthazar popped up. And
Yeah,
she
and then
got
she
a
was like,
piece of
"I
that
like them
flesh.
big, I like them big and
She
thick."
got a piece of that flesh.
I think the other reason why Paige gets, and this is so fucking horrible, but I think the other reason why Paige gets the black card vote is because she been through some shit.
Hmm.
Yeah,
She went through trauma, and black people will always identify with somebody who's gone through trauma.
Hmm.
Her losing her parents the way her adopted parents the way she did, her alcohol abuse, her partying. We all know a girl who lost her family and then started becoming like the town hoe just to heal that pain.
But she worked with black people. She dated
right.
a black guy, even if it was just one date, and we never got to see
No,
them
no, no.
drink the Starbucks.
It was her body, but Phoebe. It was Phoebe talking about her body.
But
Paige
in
is like
reality, that was still Paige, because we know good and well. Come on, we
Paige
got it.
accepted the date. No, I will give Paige
Paige
accepted the
accepted the
date,
date.
Okay.
but it was Phoebe being weird on that date because all of a
So
sudden, because one
so
black
think
guy
about it.
showed
So
up
be
at
so but because of that, that never went anywhere because Paige didn't get to go and crack that man's nuts. So yeah.
do you like the end of that episode? Because Paige is like, I at least I could take solace in the fact that he didn't like Phoebe and not.
Right.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
I'm gonna
to
jump
answer your question,
around.
I'm not necessarily triggered by that. I just feel like the people give Prue a lot, whipped a lot
no, I
all the
get
time.
that. I get that. And honestly, me using trigger is just me being salacious for the internet. I rewatched that episode where she helps that guy get justice for his daughter. And it's given blindside. It's it really
It does, and we said this on the episode.
does give blindside. Because at one point she's like, you know what? You look like a sad black man. Can I take your picture? I don't even really want to help you. I just want to put this sad black man in front of everybody. But also,
Uh,
that's a shot at Victor because she's like, Victor ain't never gonna be this black man when it comes to being a parent.
wow.
She says it in the episode.
So I'm gonna skip
Woo.
around, looking
Hmm.
at time. Which sister would you have killed off in season 3?
I feel the right one was taken off the show.
Do you think that because you came in at season 5, do you think you would have had a different thought process
No,
if you had
because of
started
my
in season?
rewatch, I think part of the reason why I do like the Page seasons so much more is because I feel like we got more of a balance. We got more of the lives and characteristics of the other sisters. Let's be real, seasons 1 through 3 was all about Prue. And I know y'all brought her
Yes.
on. She was the first character they signed on. I don't know if it was her doing and her being adamant about Prue being this type of character or that's how they wanted to write it because she had the star power of that time or whatever. But everything was Prue centric. Even Piper's and Leo's problems was Prue centric. Even Phoebe's lack or whatever. Everything somehow connected Prue. Prue had the stalker. Prue had the power advancements. Prue, everything was Prue. So to the point for me as a viewer, it got annoying because what if Prue's not my favorite character?
Hmm.
It's
I
like
like
Destiny's
that.
Child. People want to say Beyonce so much, but what if my favorite singer is Kelly? Can Kelly get a verse? You know what I'm saying? So I just
Um,
had a I just had
because I was
this
if I could read it
thing.
so hard on the internet. I was a Kelly girl before I was a Beyonce girl.
I was a Kelly girl. Yeah, I love me some Kelly.
Yeah.
That part. So yeah, I feel y'all might feel what I'm saying right there. So I will say I think for the good of the show, and I think season 4 worked the way it did and played so well is because we got to get several layers. Not to focus on the fact that necessarily Prue is no longer here. You got to push the narrative of how do we keep going on this mission without the quote head witch, the powerful witch, our sister. How do we get to make this make sense for us? And they pushed the cold Phoebe thing up front, which was awesome. It didn't give us a chance to really um, focus on the fact that we no longer had Prue. The thing now was avenging Prue. You got to see Piper, who Holly is effing amazing. I don't care if this woman is crying over a can of cheese. A
You
tear
giving us some grief?
fall, she's going
Woo!
to give it to you, and so you got to feel her. But you also had this newfound interest in, oh, we have a new witch. Now, how does she
Fitting.
adapt to this? How would she fit into this sister situation that has been already established for us, and is it gonna work? I think season 4 was done well. Like
Yes.
there was the saving grace for one, but it was done so well that you don't get a chance to argue that one of the heads are gone, right? You get to go on a newer journey and you're pulled in so much that you're like, well shit, what's next? So yeah, I think it happened the right way. Or they fixed it the correct
All right.
So I think
Um,
we got time for like 2 more questions.
that's
way. All right.
fair. These two questions gonna work because you're trying to dodge this question.
Okay.
On purpose.
I'm gonna leave that until last, but
Nah, the last one, it's gonna take forever.
right, right.
I'm gonna dodge this question on Twitter. You can't dodge it here.
Okay.
Right with this.
Rank the sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Woo! Okay. I'm gonna say
This
top
really starts with you doing a gift like this is messy. So get as messy as you need to be.
messy. Top witch, top head. I call her the charmed one. Will be Paige. Don't need Halliwell as a last name Matthews because not only is she more of a white lighter than Leo could ever be,
Okay.
she's the one that she came in. She had the least amount of time to go against the biggest threat that they have ever faced. She soared. She did her damn thing. She would take a punch to the face like no other. Because when I
Yeah.
say Cole slapped her with 4 wet fingers and she slid across that wall like she was dancing to a Rihanna song, like she did that thing. So Paige, number one, hands down. I know we give Piper a lot for the combustion power and all that good stuff. I'm going to rank Prue above her, simple for the fact that upon the rewatch, I didn't realize this until the rewatch. Piper never threw hands, and I know y'all say she don't have to, baby. I'ma need even when all you had to do was this, you still was missing shit. And Prue, she was gonna slang her arm, squint her eye, fix her bob, and kick you with a roundhouse if she had to. So I feel that she had a little more in her arsenal as far as a defense than Piper. I'm going to go with Piper as number 3 for the simple fact I always love the powers to the point that even in 2025, if I'm at a red light, I'm doing this
No.
for no reason. Just yeah. And the only
For
reason
those
I'm
who are
gonna
in audio, he's doing her combustion with her
Yes,
hand.
yes,
I just
I'm
wanted
doing the powers. Uh,
to.
the only reason I'm gonna put Phoebe at the bottom is not because she didn't have an active power, it's the fact that she just no longer cared. Like she no longer had a heart and a connection to what she was. Cause season 1 Phoebe was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
She excited
kind
me
of.
and she wasn't doing nothing but writing stuff on a notepad or whatever. Like she was a potion spells master, all of this stuff, but and she was kick ass. I love to watch her fight. That's one of my favorite scenes ever is when she gets that levitation out the blue and she does that gas and she's like an active power. And Prue looking at her like, bitch, what did you just do? And she's like, not that active. But I feel just for the fact of her connection to the craft diminishing and her becoming more of a mattress than a witch. She's gonna
That
be at
is
the
the
bottom for me.
AKA. That is the AKA. She is more of a
Think because she had right, she's coming back from New York. She ain't have nothing going on.
Right.
They kind of gave her something to hone into. But when she, she called her old, her old booze, and she was getting into it, and then started going to school, and then had a career.
And got a
She was
job and no
focused
longer
more
had
on
to borrow the car.
right,
Yeah.
right. She was more focused on that than the craft. Yep, I can. You gave valid reasons for your rankings,
Yes.
and I appreciate
Yes.
that.
feel like with Paige, she was already doing the witch shit before she was a witch.
hmm
Right,
So
right.
it was so easy for her to like, oh, I remember this chapter from How to Be a Witch 101 and just jump right in it.
And
But
I call her don't need Halliwell as a name for the fact of one, I really like her character the most because she's so independent and she really didn't need them hoes for, and
They need
I
a
think
help for the
that's
rent.
yeah, she didn't need them.
last but certainly not least,
Final question.
when did you start to hate Leo?
You gonna go with that question?
Whew. All right.
Well, yeah,
So
that other one was kind of light. This is juice.
in
This is
reality, in reality, I don't think I ever cared for Leo like that. I feel like the writers forced us into believing this was an ultimate love story. and we went with it for the fact of it made Piper happy. Um, upon the rewatch is when you, because again we were watching this as a serial, a weekly serial. We had a break, and sometimes they would go on hiatus. This is how real TV worked, people. So you didn't really get to
Like this
analyze
is real.
these characters like you would in a binge. And as I watch, and I just like, this man brings nothing to the table. When I say nothing, I mean nothing. No finances, no knowledge, no paperwork. You ain't got no deed to no house. You ain't paying rent. You ain't even wiping the bar at P3. You're doing nothing. The only thing you did was bent Piper like a pretzel on concrete under a denim jacket and create a second child that saved your first child. Like that's all you did. Because
And
you
if
really,
you
you really
did,
needed help.
because Piper was the one doing most of the work while they was having sex, and the
'Cause
fact that we know that.
is because
Oh
this
my
man had a, but you needed help to create your first child. I think people forget that if it was not for the sear and that damn strawberry that she was fixing for Cole to impregnate Phoebe, Leo's orbs would never traveled far enough to get in Piper's guts to create a child, this magical child that was
Not you, not only
prophesized
attacking Leo, but his swimmers. Oh,
they prop. And I think my biggest issue, I do think why it was introduced a season too early. I really believe
okay.
that, in all honesty, because we didn't even have a chance to really take off with Paige much, right? Like now the focus is on this child that nobody cares about, because usually when you introduce a child to a show, that's almost the end, right? Like it's almost the death to the show, because now you got to focus on raising a baby on
Right.
set versus like you didn't lock your doors, as you stated earlier. You didn't even lock your doors. You had no kind of spell across the house for protection. You have a baby in the house, and demons just popping up in the living room while you watching your soaps. So it's like, what are we doing? I do believe he was introduced to season two early, and nothing Leo could do outside of season 7 could make me like him enough to find him interesting, to feel that he was valuable. You never offered the sisters anything. Dead Grams
His
was
was the
flipping
most
in the book.
important.
It's like what it was one instance when he's like they're talking about a monster, a demon or something, and he's like, oh yeah, they've been around for thousands of years, da, da, da. And it's just like, as a white lighter, I feel there were signs that you should automatically know. If a harpy scratched the hell out of your wife, you should automatically be like, that's a harpy's claw. They're da 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 da. Vampires, da 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 da. Like, you never had information. They had to go to this book, and who the hell was putting this shit in the book?
Correct.
Because
It helped me when Cole was like, "Step away, Leo. That's not your wife no more." Come on, say it
like, and why
again.
would you not know that? This is why I know, and again, it's in hindsight. When Natalie first came onto the scene, we hated Natalie because the sisters hated Natalie.
Right,
Upon
right.
rewatch, we was always like, if y'all don't listen to this bitch and her bob, cause she on to something. She trying to tell y'all. Why you out here fighting in flip flops and wedges? Like, why you ain't got no bra on, sis? Like, we got things to do. And yes, we hate rules and we hate the structured situations, and we know y'all are not about structure, but guess what? If y'all did, you might not have lost proof.
Blinded by the White Lighter, honestly, is where most of my vitriol for Leo comes,
Mhm.
because in that episode, we see that he is able to feel anybody charged. If your charge is in danger, he can feel it, even if you're not his charge.
Mhm.
Natalie was like, "Oh, I feel it, but I'm not going to be held prisoner by these feelings. We
Right.
still need to get this done." Leo was falling on his knees, holding it. I only say it's like he got his first period because
Right.
he was acting,
He
and
might have enjoyed that. He wanted to be Piper so bad. He
the
wanted to
fact
have Piper's uterus so bad. But go ahead.
that we've seen Piper in mortal danger numerous times, and we have never seen Leo react that way to Piper. That's supposed to be the love of your life.
And
That's supposed
they
to be
always
so.
have to holler for you. Why are they yelling for you? Why are you just not
He's
automatically
ignoring
there?
them.
You're not
He is
doing a
ignoring
damn
them.
thing to help
See that
these.
that's love.
He's not doing a damn thing to help these ladies. And then you mentioned like so many times Piper was getting her ass handed to her in his line of vision. He was watching this woman get choked and slammed, and then he has nothing to say. He's so passive about it. It's like,
because he's not
fuck
supposed to
being a
do
white lighter.
anything.
Forget being a white lighter in that moment. Now you're a husband and a man with a little power boost, and your wife is getting choke slammed. You jumped
But
on
that's why they
Shaq's
were so
back.
upset about Cole, though. They were like, Cole, you don't got no powers. Why you fighting? Because they used to Leo not doing nothing.
They
So
used to,
we did that
and guess
episode
what?
up in Halliwell last week, and to your point, Leo goes, "Oh, I'll set up at P3 because Cole is making me look bad." Bitch, if you don't get a fucking job and pay for some groceries, I will beat your fucking ass.
That's the only time he started to do stuff when Cole was like, oh, y'all need some information. Even though people were seeking him out, actively looking to kill him, he would still go into hell and go and get the information and pop back in.
This
This
man
man would be
had
like,
bounty
oh,
hunters on his ass, and he was still out here fighting for the woman he loved and trying to
looking
help
cracked
her
out.
do what he needed to do. Listen, that man needed some NyQuil and
Looked like he
a
had too much
tranquilizer.
NyQuil.
I don't know what he was on, some lean, but he needed a little help.
Leo didn't even fight for Piper. He came back down after he was off of work probation and was like,
They
whatever
said
you
no.
said to the elders really changed their minds. He's like, I need her, I love her.
Nah. He was like, nah, they said we can't get married. Sorry.
You do not get the rutabaga, sir. Like it was Leo was like literally forced upon us.
He
Yeah.
Because
wasn't.
if you watch the series, this might be the only thing you might have agreed with Graham's on. And not saying that men are literally useless, but in the Charmed universe, they were. And Graham's told y'all the men were not needed for anything, and y'all wanted to quit making Piper sleep around, so y'all gave her this sack of potatoes.
But Dan was right there.
Of the series finale is Graham being so disappointed in their choice in men. That plays in a loop in my head like once a month, her being like, ugh.
It's like he's immortal. It's like
What
it's
were
it.
you saying? I'm sorry, Dan.
Dan, she
Oh, I
said
was
it
just
could have been
saying
Dan.
Dan was right there. It could have been Dan. But I've been saying that for forever. It could have been Dan.
I don't
Dan was
think I care for
out
Dan like that
the
either.
What?
But on rewatch, I could kind of see it. But I think my displeasure with Dan came in the form of his whack ass useless niece. Cause why is this helper here and already in the credits? Like, who are you, ma'am? I
Well,
was
I'm
so
so
mad
glad
when that
when
helper
she made
jumped
her
up.
appearance. I'm
When that
so glad.
second
Get out of
season,
here.
when them credits for season 2 rolled, I said, well, who the hell are you? And why are you here, ma'am?
why are you calling Afghanistan on your
Who told you I even had that addition on my calling plan? Because people around that time, you had to have that extra on your package to make long distance phone calls. This whole just bust up in the
We told
house talking about, hey, I need you to call over. Bitch, who are you? And why y'all ain't got? You should have went to the payphone, man. Do something. But you mad because
Mhm.
this man won't let you eat Cheerios or something. I forgot what she was mad about, but she was. We talk about useless characters. Like, whose idea was it to bring this little heifer in?
I
Jenny.
was so glad when she did not come back.
They gave her 4 episodes and never explained. Y'all want to talk about Judy Winslow? Where the hell is Jenny?
Jenny went to Afghanistan with her parents.
Woo!
Speaking of useless people, again, why did they never, ever, ever write into the script that Leo took Piper out to a nice dinner and paid for it? Why he always had to
With
be
what
I was
money?
about to say,
Because we
what
all
was he
would
gonna
have
pay
went.
with?
With what money?
it? It's just so fucked up that Leo, on top of being ineffectual as a white lighter, was so mean and passive aggressive as a partner and husband.
He had this man still had issues of his the gay
His
lovers
work,
in the platoon. There really was a Saving Private Leo was literally lovers quarrel, and those men were mad because Leo broke their heart, and then
not
We are never. I want you right now, Ray, to never bring up House of Halliwell again because it's not happening.
is it man on man? It's Lisa plus man on man.
He had more. He had more
Not the
chem.
White Lotus. What are you talking
Oh Lord! And then I know we got to go, but before there's a scene with Prue in All Hell Breaks Loose with Leo
about?
and Prue, and he comes down to the hospital and he sees Piper on this slab of iron, and he starts crying, and then Prue like jacks him up, was like, "Please don't get my sister." That's like, you're like, no, but it's like she was more of a white lighter than this man was. Like
Everybody
it,
was more of a white lighter.
it kills me. But every time I see that, I was listen. Prue sold that scene as far as the tears and the crying and the heavy orgasmic breathing, but it's all about Piper. Holly, I'm telling you every time when that host says,
I'm
Prue,
cold.
I'm cold, I break down every time because I'm just like, oh, she get up. Like she, oh my God, Holly was crazy. They could not have rehearsed that. They just like, let's roll the cameras because this bitch is gonna give us something that is not on paper, and y'all just have to react accordingly because we cannot write what she gives to our scripts. Like that was
Mm.
crazy. But when she
So,
hits that every time, Prue, I'm cold. I'm just like,
Ooh.
God damn.
to your point, why didn't Leo feel that? Because if that's supposed to be your soulmate,
He did. He did not care.
her grandma, you've been stalking her since she was a child. You've been stalking her when they really had some ugly ass.
But think about it though, just like most people that like zoom in on something for so long and then they finally get it, and it's like a broken toy to them at that point. He already got it.
And he waited until she was legal till he got it. He was watching that thing for a while. He
And then
watched her develop.
and pretty much when they trying to make it seem like he was always around, because he always was around, when they
Mm-hmm.
bumped into each other and she had that fuck ass vibe.
Oh, and y'all talk
Ugh.
about Phoebe's bangs. Them that wig.
I think we called them Party City Wig.
We did,
Them
we did,
wigs
we
is
did.
them wigs was horrible. Them wigs. Oh God, it was like let's make you guys look younger. That didn't help. That didn't
Did not help.
work.
Did not help at all.
Sepia like filter and some ugly ass pops.
That is crazy. I'm gonna post Prue grabbing Leo just for you guys. I was like, I just
Part of the episode cover.
yeah, it's just.
I'll do that. I'll do that.
Oh my god. And like the fifth Halliwell, when Paige is almost dying because she's infected, he still got the coconut drink in his hand, like, oh, I was supposed to save her? Oh my bad.
And the funny part about that scene is the
He's
like
gone.
Piper literally takes a candlestick and bashes this bitch on the floor. It's like, what? It's what we have white lighters for. This is like, you still tried to kill my ass.
In an earlier episode, I had said people on the internet were calling Piper violent and abusive. Yeah, that bitch is violent and abusive because of
Where's the candlestick from? Like, why does this room
Just
have
out the
a
blue.
metal candlestick?
Out the blue. But I will say, we talk about Holly's acting. I just want to give kudos again to Rose, Love Page. Like, it would be things like, especially that whole torn. Like, I'm trying to prove not only myself, but I'm trying to prove to my new sister that her man is trash and he's working with evil and all of this. And then he's like mind effing his girl and
That
turning
scene was
them
amazing.
like to watch her be that scared, that vulnerable, that like it was so intense, and I was just like, whoa, like we don't even give her as much
You don't give her
credit.
flowers.
Like even the goodbye scene with the boys in season 7 before they go to fight Zanku, you have Phoebe who was so, oh my God, I got a cute little nephew. Looking at her nephews like, well, bitch, we gonna go fight or what? And Paige, who seemingly doesn't, they don't really play onto Paige's connections with the children. Like she's bawling as the mom says goodbye. Like even in those little moments, it's just like I don't think people give Rose enough credit for playing on emotions as well as Holly because she gives some scenes too.
yeah, I'm thinking. I think you posted this on Twitter. It's the scene where Piper is deaf and Paige is going into like the afterlife. Like that scene between the two of them is so good
Hmm.
because Paige is trying to stall her death, and Piper is still like the big sister. Stop stalling, bitch. You gotta go.
She's like, well, it just is what it is. And she's like, I don't, yeah, you gotta die, bitch. Like,
Holly plays it like half heartbroken, but more so, I really like your ass no way, so get together.
but I think too at that point, like I think now that you say that, woo, look at there. Piper had the same realization that Prue had when she was up against Death and Death
Yeah.
takes a Halliwell. It's like I really can't change this outcome. Like I tried to prevent it. I tried to tell these hoes to stay their asses at home, but they didn't want to listen to me. So now I have to do what I don't want to do,
Right.
and I gotta let you go. And at that point here, she lost all her sisters. Let's be real. Piper is the only child at this point. I'm tired, and I think even in that same episode when we feel Alyssa's character as Phoebe, that lonely feeling because she's like, I want to do something, and she's like, I've seen death. I am death, and you have to stay here for your own good. And they leave her at
Mhm.
magic school, and she's like by herself. She's isolated, and she's like. Now she gets to feel like Paige does, right? Now she's like, it's like in that scene, I'm just like, damn, they like really like playing like in these different elements here. And there's moments we drag Alyssa, we
A
drag
lot
the
of
hell out of
moments.
Phoebe because
Yeah.
yeah, but I do think she does have a few moments where she shines. And if you
Yeah.
really hone in on it, you're just like, okay, that was great. That was great. But
If you really
People
yeah,
hone in on
really
it.
do a mess when we do the last couple of episodes because Long Live the Queen, Three Sisters in the Bed, after, like, they're always just.
they did they did that. But see, y'all love the bed scene. My favorite scene is right before the vanquish. Let's talk about the
I
fact
don't
that
want to see. I
let's
don't
talk
like that
about
scene.
let's talk about Phoebe went and threw up, comes out that bathroom and kissed this man in his
Yes.
mouth without washing. Ugh, this man is
The
eating.
characters, like, all three of them after they ass off. That whole Leo was there like a fucking statue. He didn't do shit.
All he
But
did was
Cynthia,
transported his
Rose,
wife for this fight.
Holly, everybody clocked it.
The
Alyssa in her
intensity,
bathroom open up, hugging the door.
the
Holly talking about
intensity.
how get your ass outside. He gonna kill us.
Phoebe, you heard him. If you get her, he's gonna kill us. But I think what sets that whole part off is when they get in there, they orb in, and they all lock eyes.
Yeah.
And Piper goes, "Son of a bitch," and it's like that. Whoa! I was like, "Oh, we about to lock it up." It's like clock
In
in.
that
I
scene,
love
in
it,
that scene,
and I'm so
Paige
sorry
is
to the
like,
listeners that I'm yelling like this, but I get it. That is
Go fix
such
the
an
audio.
intense scene. Yeah,
in
she
that
said,
scene, Paige is
"Son of a
really like,
bitch."
they on my side now. Your shit don't work. We all clocked it. You
I was
was
so upset. I'm still upset. I don't know if I can. I'm not ready for the rewatch. I don't understand. I'm not ready.
But
I'm
then,
not
but
ready for the
then, as you're
rewatch.
watching that though, did you think like when she walks up, and she grabs that crystal, what there was such an uncertain like, what? How is this about to go? And he's like,
the first. I
Yes.
"It's
used
I,
her the
I
first
had
time
to,
I
I
watched
had to do it." And she's like, "I know, baby," and she kisses him. I'm looking like how Paige is looking like, "Bitch, what are we about to do?" And as she
And
sets
she's
that crystal down, oh, I'm about to turn this on right now. Thank y'all because I listen. That is one of the best outside of Charmed and Dangerous. I will say, "Long Live the Queen" is such a top tier episode.
it
You
makes
can't
me
even
it's
mad.
so
argue about that.
heartbreaking.
It makes me mad that like the Emmys don't take CW shows seriously, with the exception of Jane the Virgin and Crazy Ex Girlfriend. But
Hmm.
everybody should have been nominated for either Best Supporting or Best Leading for Long Live the Queen, because everybody, with the exception of Leo
I was
Wyatt,
gonna ask. I was gonna ask because you said everybody, and I wanted to make sure.
was acting their ass off. Paige with her righteous indignation, uh,
Mm,
Piper with her theory of being taken advantage of and being lied to for
yeah.
Hmm.
months, and the heartbroken, like, duty, love torn Phoebe. Ugh,
So.
plus
And
manipulative
then the
asshole.
lovely scene of that
Sorry.
the battle like that the sister battle, but the magical like when this whole pops up in the living room in flames, right? And Piper's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Bitch, she gotta go," and she throws the potion. She's over it at this point. She's like, if I'm gonna
She's
lose
over
another
it.
sister, bitch, I'm taking her out because why are
Right,
we here?
right,
Like,
right. It was good. Yeah, I'm not.
awesome,
I'm not
top to
ready.
bottom. Yeah.
I'm not ready. I'm
Please,
not
I
ready.
want you to like watch it and stream live. I want to see your tears. I want to see you like drinking shots of vodka because you're
I
just
think we
upset.
can stream live through Riverside. We've never tried it,
We
but we
definitely.
can. So
I
you want
want
to
to
see me
see.
just
I
sobbing?
just want to see you
Okay,
like, why is this happening?
we can set that up. We can do that. I'm okay.
You know,
This will be for you, Rojay.
we'll do that. We are what in episode 17.
Mm-hmm.
So we got 5 more episodes to go. We'll map this out. We officially know we're on the East Coast.
Hey,
So guys, listeners, watchers, you got something to look forward to. We will
I be
put that.
crying though. I'm so emotional, guys. Y'all don't.
I'm
I be.
telling you, I'm about to watch it. Before you close out and sign out, I do want to thank you guys for inviting me onto this platform. The
Yay!
craziest thing, I don't even know how. It took one tweet, and mind you, I've been tweeting about Charm for
You were hating on
forever,
Leo.
like forever, and that might have been it. One of my tweets just took the hell off, out the blue, and then it's like now I have 1,000,004 black Charmed fans, and I'm just like, has this been a thing? Because whoa.
Hmm.
But I promise you, I can just be chilling, and at any time I just something random pops up, or I just want to pose a question. The community taps the hell in, and it's like
Hmm.
it's to the point that I have to mute notifications sometimes because it's like, okay, I'm done with that conversation. It's a new day. I'm not talking about this anymore. But to know that there are other Charm fans like us is a dope thing.
Hmm. We
Yeah,
out here.
That's dope.
yeah. We
Yeah,
didn't
you had tweeted something and it was about Leo, and I tagged her like, "Here go another Leo."
It's
even.
crazy because it's people that really like anytime y'all know me, I can be sarcastic about just any topic
Hmm.
about it. Like I watch this so I don't hate the show. I'm just being an ass about an observation. And it will be
Right.
people that come in, they're defending with their life and they're cussing me out and dragging me. And I'm like,
She
y'all
be
do
getting
know I was
dragged.
joking, right?
That's why I
I'm
don't do my
playing.
social media
Yeah,
because
I'm
she
playing
be
right
getting
now.
dragged.
This be so fucking it be in shambles. Right now they are arguing about Willow being a deadbeat friend in the comments. They arguing about Dorit being a good person. She's not.
Uh,
There's nothing you could ever tell me or show me that will let me know that Dorit's a good Dorit's had busted recently, and that's how I know she's fake. When have you ever heard this bitch use AAVE? When? They're in the comments talking about how if you don't like Leo, then you don't like the show. Maybe you just don't like me. I don't know. Either way,
that could be it. But let's be real. Leo was not the show. That's why y'all did not miss him. Them 2 episodes, his ass was frozen on a block. Now I will say, Voya Con Leos is a very well done episode, and that was probably
Oh,
only because Holly sold the hell out of all of those emotions, and she
right,
made you
right.
feel like you might have liked Leo for a second, but in reality,
Did we miss him? Did
duh,
we?
you forgot about his ass. So he popped back up with the Angel of Dreads, and she
every time I see her on something else, I'm like, oh, Angel of Destiny.
she popped up and was just like, "This is how the battle was always supposed to go." And it's like, why are you talking like Maya Angelou right now? Like, why are we doing this right now?
Spirit arise.
Well, we appreciate you coming on and talking with us on the daily about all things Charmed. It's nice to know that there are people out there, like you said, what, 21, 22 years later, are still 100% tapped into the community. And it's nice to see the community be so black as it is.
Right? Cause we was in them streets. We was in
We was in
Compton,
them
but we was
streets.
in, I have met all of the ladies. I have
Oh,
met
that's so
Grams. I
cool.
have met Daryl. I have met Leo. I've met Chris. I actually traveled to San Francisco just to
Oh,
see the bridge, and I traveled to LA
ooh.
just to see the manor. Like it's really deep with me, and I know it sounds crazy, but those little things brought me so much damn joy. And
It brings me joy every time you post. I love it.
yeah, like the people can't, like you can't, outside of Martin, for me, I don't think there's really like I had to let Grey's Anatomy go after 2019 season. I was like, if y'all not gonna get canceled, I gotta jump ship. I'ma leave. How about that? I'm not coming back to Seattle Grace Mercy West Grace Sloan Memorial. I can't do it no more. So
So I don't know what it is. I stay with Supernatural to the end. I'm gonna stay with Grace to the end.
I didn't watch Supernatural until it's over. I need an end date. I need to know. It
well,
just
they
kept
brought the
going
new
and
people.
going.
Now, are you said you're a Supernatural fan, and
We
somebody
are.
told me because I was like, we should have got at least a spinoff of the boys or whatever. And it's like, just watch Supernatural. And I'm like, well, they're not connected, but like, is it? Do you see the Chris and Wyatt dynamic being something like the Supernatural?
Yes and no,
Yeah.
because it's always going to be the brother antics that keep
Yeah.
that have that, but the Winchesters are so well educated when it comes to magic,
Yes. And we
and
talk about that a lot.
their
Yeah.
willingness to actually like
Learn,
from the last.
divert.
Mm.
Loretta Devine shows up, so you already know.
Oh,
Yeah.
the mother of
Yeah.
Hollywood.
But
It
I think that's too, like, that's where Charmed and Supernatural differ, right? Charmed, like you said before, season one, it was whatever stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Where the writer of Supernatural had a plan for the first
Mm-hmm.
5 seasons, and so you got that like locked in.
Got you.
There was a plan, and it rolled all the way to season 5. Now we might have had some seasons after that that were kind of crazy, but
Mm-hmm.
those first 5 seasons, there was always a plan towards them, and we
Got
didn't
you.
really get that for a while in Charmed.
Well, before
like
you guys start your season 5 discussion, after you wrap season 4, like right before in the season 4, right into season 5, I would
Okay,
love to see you guys analyze how most of the greater evils or the greater battles that the sisters faced were not actually supernatural. They were actually just badass humans in the world
okay,
of like some of the battles they had to overcome was of regular people. It wasn't necessarily a demon of the week. I think that would be
okay.
interesting for you guys to tackle.
All right, I've written it down. We gonna put it in our notes.
All right.
so we are officially out of time now. So
Hmm.
we normally just wrap up by saying some would just be hoes.
Some hoes be witches. Oh, and happy birthday, Mama Rojay.
Hey, well, my mom's 65 and my grandmama turned 96 today. So yes,
Happy
we are
birthday,
out
Grandma
here.
Rojay
Yeah,
too.
they out here cutting up
Yay!
Pisces season.
I'm,
Yay!
so I'm already that Pisces side of her
Mm,
be really pro. We make me want to shake
I
her.
love it.
But
Well,
yeah,
thank
It
you,
was nice
Queens, for
having you.
having me
Thank
on.
you. Thank
Appreciate you for
you.
real. And I'll cut up with you
We
guys on the
appreciate
Twitter
you.
sphere.
of
Yes.
course.
Bye.
Bye bye.